Howdy, folks, and welcome to Throw Me a Line, the show where we take a lyric that irritates and turn it into one that dominates. My name's Cary Nightingale. With me, as always, is my trusty sidekick, Kevin Nebrich. Kevo, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
That's great to hear. I'm also doing well. Now, I've got a song picked out for Throw Me a Line, but I know that you're chomping at the bit to present the tune score for the song that I recommended you review. So why don't you go ahead and do that now?
Thank you. So I listened to the song Midnight at the Oasis, written by David Nichtern and performed by Maria Muldaur on her 1973 self-titled album. This song is a favorite among jazz musicians due to its intricate chord progression, and it weaves an enigmatic offer of a desert-themed romp incorporating highly seductive and provocative lyrics. With David Nichtern setting the rhythm on the acoustic guitar, a relaxed backbeat on the drums with a swing feel, secondary percussion, a sultry vocal delivery by Maria Muldaur, and a beautiful guitar solo by famous Amos Garrett, American-Canadian guitarist, this track has an almost crowded arrangement as it is. With the addition of an orchestral arrangement and some slight dissonance in Maria Muldaur's vocals, there are occasional bouts of cacophony throughout the piece, but I gave Midnight at the Oasis a tune score of 6.8 out of 10. Cary, will you listen to the song and tell me what you think about my score there?
I'd be happy to. Give me just a moment and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Kev, thanks so much for reviewing this song with your fresh ears. I really think that my tired ears agreed with most everything that you said. I'm glad you highlighted the intricate jazz chordal arrangement and the dissonances in Maria's vocals. I think those are two of the things that really make the song endearing. So, fantastic stuff.
Thank you, and thank you for the challenge. What song did you throw a line to for this episode?
The song I reviewed is 1999's Right Where I Need to Be by Gary Allan. Right Where I Need to Be is more of a description of an assault on the senses than an actual assault on the senses. The chorus manifests touch, sight, hearing, and smell while tastefully ignoring taste. The chord structure is typically simple, sticking to 3 chords, but they are augmented by the licks coming from the twangy electric guitar and the church organ. Those licks are both memorable and melodic, as is the vocal delivery. Gary Allan interprets the top line with some grit and strain in his voice to really sell the performance and make the listener believe in the sincerity of his words. There's a little pop flair in the production of this track, and I would say it's a welcome addition. It's not as slickly produced or poppy as some of the other country radio songs of the era, think Shania Twain, for example, because the instrumentation and playing styles still embrace their gospel and blues roots. Overall, there's a wholesomeness to Right Where I Need to Be. With the chorus's tender sensuality, this tune could have been a more lascivious ode to a partner whose intimacy and proximity is tempting for all of the right and wrong reasons. But the rest of the lyrics show that it's companionship, rather than just intimacy, that have the singer won over. This sentiment and its warm delivery and vulnerability help this song score high on both emotion and repeat listenability. I rated Right Where I Need to Be at 7.4 out of 10 on the tune score scale, but Kev, I'd love for you to slap on your headphones, give it a spin, and then let us know what you thought.
Right on, let's do it. Okay, I'm back.
So, Kev, what'd you think?
Very nice. I agree. It's a very decently crafted song with a sweet message.
Nice. But that said, I think it's time for a short break before we come back and actually throw lines to these songs. This one's brought to you by the all-new Chrysler Sabbath. Your local dealers are now offering steep discounts to make room for next year's model. Some call it underpowered, but we say the tiny engine leaves plenty of room to tinker under the hood. This is one Sabbath your mechanic won't mind working on. We'll be right back. Howdy, folks, and welcome back. It's finally that time of the show for us to actually throw lines to the songs that we've talked about and, frankly, to earn our paychecks. Now, Kev, you mentioned that there were a lot of problematic lyrics in your song while we were away at break, but you didn't have a chance to get into it. So, how about now?
Well, I might just be splitting hairs. And to be fair, they didn't have Wikipedia in 1973. But it does sound like they have maybe a loose understanding of the cultures and geography of the area that they're discussing. So they've set an accurate scene badly by mixing a lot of different images you might find in similar places, or set a fictional one also badly. Honestly, I think the lyrics have just aged poorly. By today's standards, the lyrics might be considered culturally insensitive or even offensive. But say what you will about the content, this song was a babymaker in its day. A lot of people are here today because of this song. But Cary, this was actually your recommendation. I was happy to accept the challenge to workshop it. But if you could, explain for our audience which line it is that you take issue with, because I'm sure they're both eager to know.
For me, the line is, "Come on, cactus is our friend." Because it's just too silly for a seductive song. And also, cacti don't really exist in the Saharan or Arabian deserts where you'd expect to find oases, sheiks, and camels.
And I did do a little research to confirm, and I found that other listeners reported that very complaint. And you're absolutely right. Although an oasis can theoretically exist in any desert or semi-desert environment, cacti, specifically any of the more phallically shaped variety, are found solely in the Americas. So that criticism is warranted. But it does surprise me a little to know that you don't approve of that line.
Oh, why is that?
Well, despite being factually incorrect, it's arguably a playfully suggestive lyric. And you, more than anyone I've ever met in the entire world, appreciate double entendre, sexual innuendo, and I've always thought you were kind of a prick.
Well, guilty as charged on all counts.
So what I came up with instead was this. Come along, frolic in the sand, kiss me under the stars, hold me close, let's get out of hand till the evening ends.
Kev, I think that's a really pretty way of updating the lyrics to Midnight in the Oasis. I might have gone in a slightly different direction. I might have just changed the first two lines of that chorus to, "Come on, pitch a little tent, I'll roll out the rug," because I think that maintains that very playful yet suggestive or dirty concept.
That's not half bad either, sir. And it definitely reads maybe a little dirtier than my version. And now that we've made adjustments to our chorus, I would argue that this would bring my score up a couple of points for maybe lyrics and maybe 1 point for repeat listenability, bringing my tune score up from a 6.8 to a 7.1 out of 10. So, Cary, which line bothers you in the Gary Allan song?
The line that bothers me and right where I need to be is boss man says my big promotion's on the line. For two reasons, really. The primary reason is boss man sounds a little bit backwoodsy. And even though this is a country song from 1999, it's just too backwoodsy for me. And the big promotion, I find that a little off-putting because later in the song it's revealed that he's already flying first class for his business travel. Now, I've worked in a big corporation, and I never got anything better than coach class. So I don't think I'd be complaining about a big promotion on the line. Now, the issue with repair is this is just a couple of words or phrases, but they're in a very tight structure. If you think about the cadence of the line in verse 1, that's a pretty tight cadence. But really, it's the way that verse 2 is the message mirror, and it contains the actual target rhyme. So the steps I took in workshopping some lyrical repair here. First off, I tried finding a 2-syllable replacement for boss man. That ends up being really tough because most synonyms are 3 or more syllables like manager, executive, supervisor, overseer, etc. And the 2-syllable ones just don't fit or make a whole lot of sense, like leader or honcho. The other issue with repair is trying to find a fitting rhyme with line. So the solutions I came up with, frankly, are a little bit disappointing. Changing boss man says my big promotion's on the line could become my boss says our revenue is in decline. My boss says this contract's in a bind, or my boss says this deal is on the line. I do think it's best to stick with my boss instead of boss man.
All those replacements sound like the stakes are too high. Maybe if the stakes are too high for the company, it'd make the narrator pretty unlikable if he blew a deal and cost hundreds of people their jobs.
You're absolutely right. And that's why lyrical repair is so tough. And frankly, lyric writing is tough. So big credit to the actual writers of this song. Even I had to compromise. So my final answer here is my boss says that my promotion's on the line, because that will preserve the spirit of the message, the melody, and the overall cadence while tweaking just a few words. So if I made those changes, Right Where I Need to Be by Gary Allan currently scores at 7.4. I think this would merit 2 additional tenths of a point, bumping it up to a 7.6 out of 10 on the tune score scale.
Nice. Well done.
Thank you very much, Kev. I always enjoy these episodes. I know how much you care about lyrics and stories. It's one of my favorite parts of songwriting as well. But as always, we invite and encourage you, our handsome audience, to give a listen to the tracks we reviewed today. They're on our Tune Scored Tracks playlist on our YouTube channel. While you're there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of our lyrical repairs. If you're an up-and-coming songwriter, that's also a great place to recommend one of your songs for a tune score and some good old-fashioned, honest feedback. We'd love to hear from you. We've had a lot of fun today, and we hope you did too. That's been Kevin Nebrich. I've been Cary Nightingale. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay sound.